This is Capped Off. My name is Mike McCullough. Today we're going to talk about Scrum versus Agile. So let's start with some history here. Scrum was first introduced in 1993 at an UPSLA conference. The term Agile actually didn't come around until 2001. Now, what was happening in the early 90s, early to mid 90s was, really an explosion or an upswell of what at the time were termed lightweight methodologies. Now, this term lightweight was in contrast with, what people would refer to as high ceremony, heavy process-driven approaches. Things that around at the time were RUP or, lots of homegrown, very heavy process document and artifact-driven approaches. Now, the challenge of the term lightweight, although they were lightweight approaches in contrast to these heavy high ceremony approaches, is that lightweight also seemed to imply that it was only applicable to lightweight type problems. And this is a bit of a challenge because if you're going to look at it, Agile I shouldn't say Agile, but Scrum and, XP, and there are many around at the time, different approaches, they weren't really restricted, or they definitely had application beyond simple problems. In fact, they're really geared towards complex problems. So, in 2000, the proponents of a whole bunch of these different methodologies, Scrum was one of them, XP, FDD, there's a whole bunch, who got together at an XP conference and tried to come up with a single unifying methodology, a single unifying approach to making product or making software. And they couldn't come to an agreement. But in 2001, they got together again, and they came up with not a methodology, not a set of rules, but a set of values and principles that they all agreed with. And this is what it is. So the term Agile is really a reference to the set of values and principles in the Agile Manifesto. So if you go and read at agilemanifesto.org, the Agile Manifesto, you're not going to read any rules. You're not going to have any roles like a product owner. You're not going to read about a sprint or user stories or anything that's around mechanics or rules of how people work. What you're going to find are principles and value statements. Things like we value individuals and interactions over process and tools. This is the first value statement in the Agile Manifesto. Now, embedded in that is nothing that says how you work. It's a value statement on what is meaningful and important to you and your team. So, with this, if we look and we want to contrast between the two, Scrum has rules. Scrum has roles, it has events, it has artifacts. Agile does not. Agile has principles and values. Please subscribe, like, and add a comment below.